So far, the ABCs walk you through the framework to help yourself identify, plan, and achieve your goal or desired outcome. In this lesson, we discuss the significance of not only helping yourself achieve your desired outcome but also helping you comprehend what you have learned while getting there and how to apply these skills to other areas and goals. As a mental competency, mastery of the skills, concepts, knowledge, and mindset required to progress in life is a huge part of learning. This insight is important because as a learner, you always have to balance what you learn while achieving your goals. Reaching the original goal does not mean the end of the road. The road will always be changing, winding through valleys and hills, and have folks for you to navigate. As such, in life, we don't always end up completing the same journey we began. Not because we quit, because life took us on a different path, maybe a better path. It is not just about reaching the outcome, it's also about what you learned on the way. By learning and gaining competence mastery, you will be able to lead yourself on future journeys of change in other areas of your life. So let's get started and look at how to master competence so that you can lead your journeys as well. Four stages of competence. These are ranked from lowest to highest on the hierarchy of competence. The lowest is unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and highest unconscious competence. The first stage and most basic stage is unconscious incompetence. That's where you usually begin at the start of the journey. What it means is you don't know what you are bad at. Unconscious means the person does not know whatever it is, and incompetence means a lack of skill. So unconscious incompetence is when you does not know what you lack. You don't know what needs changing. This stage begins during the awareness step of the ABC framework. Until a person becomes self-aware, it is difficult to move past this point, since unconscious basically means unaware. To become aware means to become conscious. The key is for you to become aware of the challenges that you are having and what you are lacking to reach your goals. So the first stage is unconscious incompetence. The second stage is conscious incompetence. This is where you become aware of what you need to work on and the skills you need. Early on, we need to get to shift from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. You need to become aware of your development needs. In the first stage, unconscious incompetence, you does not know what you are not good at. In this second stage, conscious incompetence, you know what you are not good at. It's a big shift. Knowing what you are not good at and need to progress naturally generates an internal motivation to move to the next stage. Once you know what you are not good at, what you need to work on or change, you also become uncomfortable but also hopeful. You now start to realize what is missed and you can look forward. It is a bit like being dirty. You are motivated to get cleaned up, to do something about it when you first realize it. The third stage in the hierarchy of competence is conscious competence. This is the desired stage. At this stage, you are skilled and you know you have that skill. You are aware and you are skilled and you know when to use it, how to use it. The reason this stage is the most desired is because at this stage you are aware of what you have done right to feel the way you do when you achieve a possible outcome. You are conscious, you are aware of what you do works for you. You can now even teach and help others grow and help people build that skill. You can repeat the process for yourself. With these valuable skills, you are motivated to prevent complacency and continue to use this awareness to live better and improve perpetuality. The fourth and highest stage in the hierarchy of competence is unconscious competence. This is when you are able to do something without even thinking about it. It's kind of how we brush our teeth. This seems like the most desirable, but it comes with several shortcomings as well. Lack of awareness means lack of mindfulness. This can lead to actually complacency or slipping into poor habits, doing something without thought, the consequences or goal alignment. Like when you have been driving for a long time, you get into bad habits. Also, not being mindful what knows makes it difficult to repeat the good. Being naturally good at something is nice, but it does not help one teach or help others grow. You have probably met people that were really good at something, but they were terrible at teaching and training others, right? People who just don't know how to connect and communicate. That is because they have natural talent. They are naturally good at certain things like sports, sales, dancing, data analysis, relationship, whatever. But since they are not using effort or awareness to accomplish these things, they cannot relate well to those who cannot do these things. And so they cannot teach others well either. In our group learning program, we had a member tell us that in just 5 weeks, she was able to change her habits and experience her desired positive outcome. That's great. It took her just 5 weeks to make some positive change in her life. That is exactly what we want to hear. But she was not done. Achieving the outcome is not the end of the journey. When you does start to see real change or you reach your outcome, the next step is to write down how that change, that success made you feel and how you got there. You need to consolidate the success by translating it to your emotional experience. You should list the benefits and aim even further next time. You need to take that experience and make it grow. This is important to journal this because if you don't consolidate, there is a really good chance, there is a very good chance that you won't be able to repeat it and improve it. When a sports player learns to perform better, they don't stop getting coached. They don't stop practicing. They don't stop learning. They understand that they can take what they learned and keep going to the next level with their skills. They also know at some point their performance will fade and they can revisit what worked for them before to reverse the slowdown and boost their performance again. They don't ever want to get complacent because that ruins it all. All that hard work is gone. So, write down the benefits now of how you feel, not the benefits of how you think it was going to make you feel, but the benefit of how it makes you feel now. Keep in mind, when working is all about progress, not perfection. You should write down how you got there and the process. Life is not about getting somewhere. It is about making consistent progress. It is a process. There is never complete perfection. You cannot expect to get to where you wake up at the same time every day, everything goes the same every day. It's just not possible. If you expect that, then you set yourself up for a failure. So, what you need to do is set yourself up for the best day possible and be adaptable and flexible for what life is really like. You have to be realistic and use your skills to be adaptable. Not every day is going to be sunny. Life just doesn't work like that. And unfortunately, that's the message that's been drilled into people's head, that we should reach a certain end state, but that plateau easily leads to stagnancy. We have to take our past the what part. It is not enough to know what to do. You also need to know the how part. So when you test something, a habit, a strategy, a tool, it is important that you journal it, write it down, take notes, which you can revisit and review later on. What worked for you, what did not. The biggest problem for most people is when they test something and they do not get their desired outcome, they simply give up and say it did not work. But that's not a test. A test is not yes or no. It's not binary. It's not black or white. A test is asking what they learned. They may have learned that even when they make this one change, it does not work out. So now they know to test something different or something different. The whole point is every test should lead yourself to new things to try and closer to the desired result. As such, tests are not about success or failure. For example, it is possible to have successful failure. If not a positive success, you want to experience successful failure. A successful failure is where you do not get the right outcome of your outcome, but you learn something from what you tried. The focus is on always learning. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is thinking there is nothing to learn because things went well. Something worked, so there is nothing more to gain. Doesn't make sense. Just as some students, when they pass an exam, think they know what they need to know because they passed. But guess what? They were not tested on every possible thing, on every possible scenario. Maybe they guessed correctly a few times. The point is, passing an exam does not mean you're done and there is no more to learn and that you will get it right the next time too. But what happens when they fail the next time? One can almost guarantee a failure will come at some point. They have to learn what to do when things go wrong. This is how you develop adaptability. They must also learn to adapt what they learn from their success to other scenarios and situations when the conditions are not exactly or maybe very different as they were before. Therefore, it is always worthwhile to remember we learn more from our trials and failures than we do from our achievements. When helping yourself master your competence, keep in mind that time has memory and location has energy. When they do something at the same time every day, your mind will associate this activity with time. When you do something in the same location every day, the mind will associate the energy you feel with that location. This is why a person cannot work out in the same place they sleep, because the place they sleep has an energy that makes them feel tired. It's why we can eat in the same place we sleep or we should not. The simplest way to master your competence is to keep a journal every day. You should write down what you have tested each day and what you learned from it. You will be able to see patterns of what worked and what did not, when it worked and when it did not, and what the circumstances, your thoughts, feelings, and behavior were each time. This will help you master your competence and remain aware. Another way to help master competence is keep you focused on mastering one goal at any time. Help yourself work on one small area and make it a big priority. Once you accomplish it consistently for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, then you can move on to the next outcome or the next competence. This way, by giving it adequate time, you will retain the mastery a lot longer. Therefore, the only way you can shift from conscious incompetence to conscious competence is to practice and learn. So, how can you identify your unconscious incompetences? How does it become conscious competence? After all, if you are unconscious, that means you are not aware. How do you become aware? The first solution is to ask whatever field may be a roadblock to your desired outcome. Once you become conscious of your incompetence, you can ask experts how to do something and if you are doing it correctly. Unless your experts' advice of family or friends will not have the desired effect. If the person you ask is not an expert in their field, then that feedback is not as useful. That's the first way of getting to know and start to develop your competences. The second solution is to test what you are good at. Go out and take part in doing something. Only by putting yourself out there can you benchmark your skills to those of others and acceptable standards. This is a really important point. Testing yourself in this way is a form of self observation. The third idea is to ask yourself to reflect on previous times when you have had to do something where possible, get input from someone who is currently where they want to be, get their constructive feedback. When I explain these four stages of competence, I use driving as an example. I tell them that they don't know what they don't know until they first take the wheel, right? We all remember that experience. Only then do they realize they know nothing about driving. But the best position to be is at the conscious competence level. It is the most powerful stage from which teach, learn, grow, and meditate meaningfully. So always remember, achieving an outcome is an emotional celebration, but the journey is like 1,000 teachers. With this information, we are nearing the completion of the final lesson in the module about ABC framework. With this, it is time to wrap up our lesson on competence mastery. Final thoughts before we go. For now, explained all 9 steps of the ABC framework. From the beginning stages to stimulate the awareness, you need to set SMART goals to the continuous learning of mastering competency. Now you are equipped to guide through the entire process from start to finish in a structured and systematic way that has proven results. Not that there will be a finishing point for you as you continue to improve in life, but at some stage it is natural for your learning relationship to end and you are then ready to maintain the progress on your own. thanks to your guidance and preparation. But before you join the next lesson, please don't forget to do the reflection and practical exercises. Until next time, keep up the incredible work and let happiness be a choice that spreads